Can I build a sprawling metropolis on a tiny stretch of land in the middle of the ocean? Personally, I'd like to find out. I'm going to build this city exactly the same as I would a real city, with highways, full city services, and multiple layers of density. Except, of course, it's just a thin strip of land. Genuinely, this is it. Believe it or not, this will soon be home to many thousands of people. That's right, just this tiny strip of land. For this challenge, I'm not allowed to unlock any new tiles.
Oh, dang it.
Neither will I be able to expand the surface of this starting island.
Shucks.
In fact, I will consider this challenge a complete failure unless I'm able to fit 20,000 population on this island, have 50 million in the bank, and somehow manage to make it look good in the process. I have a feeling this is definitely going to push my city building skills to the limit. All right, well, you know what this is. We've got a city to build. And so for right now, we've just got a road here, and then we've also got a outside power connection that we can use. We can hook up a transformer station to that. So let's get started on that. Let's just get this removed just so we have a little bit more space to work with, because I want to change the shape of it. In order to stress these space constraints, I wanted to build a highway. This will also end up being very useful later on once this island is packed to the gills with citizens. Let's bridge over just like this, and I'm gonna try to stay close to the right side of the island. I don't think it makes much sense for me to run the highway straight through the middle, but I want to leave enough space on the right side here so that we can have off ramps. I've got my very first set of on and off ramps right here, and we're doing a very, very tight configuration because, well, we just don't have that much space. So we're gonna have to keep these on ramps and off ramps tight. So I guess people are just gonna have to use their brakes. Now, I'm drawing a bridge over the highway here because, well, if our on and off ramps are going to be on this side, we need an easy way for them to get to the actual, city side. So we're just going through here and once again doing a very, very tight configuration. We've got the bridge going through there. I'm curving it off and then just connecting it up to this street here. Let's go ahead and get a road going all the way along the beach side here. I think this is mainly going to be an industrial island, but I'm not 100% sure yet, so let's just keep building roads and then we'll figure it out later. I think I'm going to rely on importing power for this city just because we really don't have enough space for a power station. So I've got this transformer station on the outside connection, and then we're just making sure to get our sewage and our water. We might as well go through and get another set of on-ramps and off-ramps for this side of the highway specifically. And I think we're going to be doing a very similar configuration as the other side, just connecting these two into this 2-lane road. All right, enough with the road segment stuff. This is what we've got. Pretty rudimentary setup, and it's looking pretty strange just based off of just me trying to get it as compact as I possibly can. But I think this is definitely going to work, at least for the time being. So let's get some buildings placed down. After much consideration was given to the highway layout, I was finally able to start building a grid and begin placing my initial buildings. There was demand for everything, so I placed a variety of different zoning types in order to satisfy our would-be citizens. Soon, people will flock in droves to the Isle of Lemon, a humble beginning to a soon-to-be burgeoning metropolis. The citizens would require jobs, so I utilized the first island as an industrial zone, providing a way for those who wish to busy their hands. Given that the constraints of the challenge is that the city has to look pretty, I'm choosing to plop the buildings individually. I am, however, limiting myself to only plopping buildings when I have the demand. I think that's a fair trade-off. The city actually started out with quite a bit of office demand, so I'm just going through and placing some of Smiley's offices to fill that demand. And of course, the build wouldn't be complete without a couple parking lots. All right, how cute. This is, it looks like a model city. It's very miniature feeling. It's really cute, honestly. I don't know. I guess that's the word for it. Yeah, so we've got our industrial zone over there, and then I'm just placing some residential and stuff over here. I think it's looking pretty nice. I'm actually feeling really good about this build right now. Making the city pretty seemed to come naturally, but so far we still had a negative balance sheet. So of course I sprung into action to balance the budget. Oh wait, actually I'm detailing here. Well, okay, back to making the city pretty. Now, to be completely honest, I wasn't totally unproductive placing some offices, apartments, and other tax-paying establishments, but I was definitely dragging my feet. But come on, I can't help myself. I'm just a little guy, a little guy that likes to make pretty cities, right? I mean, come on. You know, I probably shouldn't be doing stuff like this when I have an entire city to build, but isn't that so pretty? Now they've got a nice, quaint little place that they can hang out on the beach. I think that's lovely. At this point, I had expansion on my mind. Some citizens required healthcare, some required death care. I had outgrown my initial road layout and sought expansion. New roads would pave the way for further development. The city was still in its infancy, but began to show its first signs of standing upright to walk. From here, I sought to increase the density further, favoring towers that would reach ever closer to the sky, ever closer to a newer, brighter, and busier Isle of Lemon. I modeled this section like an old financial district, favoring older brick buildings and further satisfying the growing office demand. The main street stretching through town was then upgraded to a larger 4-lane road to accommodate for the increased traffic in the area and to give the downtown a more prominent look. I placed parks, beautifying the area. All who visit the Isle of Lemon shall know of and gaze upon its majesty. It will be woven into the very fabric of the city so that no one shall deny its beauty. I placed a high school and an elementary school within the downtown. This way our citizens could learn and be happy. This would also help us by driving further office demand from our newfound educated populace. I do think this new office area looks pretty nice, and it still has that miniature vibe that our initial district had, so I'm really enjoying that. Oh, don't mind me, just covering up this corner. No need to look over here. Guess what? We still have a negative balance sheet, but you know what? We have 5.6 million, so it's not that bad, right? And these Royal Wharf apartments look really nice. I don't know what pack these come from or if I downloaded them, but they look great. Heck yeah. Okay, I have to use this CRPA asset by Joe. This just looks super, super cool. And let's just get rid of these trees. If we're gonna have the CRPA, we might as well have a fishing dock as well, just so they can get their fish straight from the ocean. Just gonna stay on this side of the border because, well, I'm not a cheater. Not gonna do that. Let's just grab that. And then we can just pull this. I think this should be plenty of storage. One large, one medium, and one small. Man, you know what? I'm not doing the small. Now what I will do is give this a nice, beautiful red roof. Let's copy that and bring that to the other ones too. Enemy spotted. All right, yeah, just get a PlayStation in here. And right when we were hitting green too, dang. It was time to start modernizing our city. I sought to find offices made of glass and steel. The old brick facades were being phased out for a more technical, trendy appearance. Okay, well, these towers are way too big. Oh my gosh. This one I think I can work with. Let's just see. Maybe right about here might be nice. I still haven't figured out the road layout, but it's nice to just get a silhouette of the skyline. Let's just draw this road out all the way down here so I have a reference point at the very least. Oh yeah, this one's nice. Ooh, that museum, yeah, let's do that there. And then we'll just finish off with this right here. Ooh. In order to usher in the beginning of our ultra high density downtown, I needed to make sure that there were proper highway connections so that the traffic wasn't being funneled through the entire city. This required a little bit of creativity to get figured out, but I got some pretty decent connections going on through here so that people could pretty much go wherever they want once they exit the highway. Let's just get 3 lanes right here just to do proper lane math, of course. Let's get this one upgraded as well on the beach just to make sure that it has enough capacity for everybody. Now with the highways in place and the roads prepared, it was time for some rapid expansion. Look at all of our new citizens, eager to start a brand new life on the Isle of Lemon. Opportunity is everywhere, ocean views are abundant, and for now, well, it seems everyone is happy. But as the city rapidly expanded, so did my ambition. I needed more citizens, more money, more everything. 10,000 an hour wasn't enough. The numbers had to go up. Gone were the days of carefully detailing alleyways and placing shrubs in perfect little rows. I wanted results, and results I would have. The creation of downtown brought thousands of new citizens, new jobs, and a flood of taxpayer dollars straight into my bank account. The city was growing fast, maybe too fast. The fire was burning hot, but with so little space on the island, those flames could very quickly turn to ash. Can we just slow down for a moment? I feel like I got a little intense there. You know I try to keep things relaxed on this channel. I really do. So let's take it easy for a moment. Do a little gratitude exercise with me. I am grateful for my city. The city is perfect just the way it is. Okay, let's get back to the game. It was time to start on the next district. This one would surround the city's only university with a more hip, upscale neighborhood. Naturally, the wealthy would flock to the end of the island in search of exclusivity. After all, you wouldn't bother going this far unless you had a reason to. So, the island's linear nature created a natural hierarchy for everyone to fall into. Industry at the front, small businesses and common folk next, then downtown, where media companies and tech giants held important meetings about very important spreadsheets. And after that, the only road left led into excess. Expensive coffee, organic groceries, abundant leisure. For many, the island promised progression. If you worked hard enough, you too could move further down the stretch. You too could do as all humans do, outstretch your arms, open your hands, and grasp for your share of the spoils. Unfortunately, there are far too many hands, and the appetite of the individual will always outweigh what their stomach can hold. Even further, at the pinnacle of the island, you'll find the end of the road. The houses grow ever larger, and yet there is no real satisfaction in reaching it. Only satisfaction in each step taken along the way. The human condition exists in a state of movement, and with nowhere left to go, the only thing to do is find another road. Unfortunately, on Lemon Isle, there are no other roads, because, well, it's just a thin strip of land. Well, we did it. We built the city, and for the grand reveal, yes, we did actually make it to over 21,000 population, and we've got 55 million in the bank. I think we're kind of capped out at 21,000. It seems like we're not really gaining that fast. This number just kind of goes up and down, and it's pretty much staying where it's at for the most part. We're definitely making a lot of money, though. $100,000 an hour is definitely nothing to scoff at, and so that's just going up continuously over time. Yeah, maybe we do have a couple of hearses, maybe we need to add more death care, but that's not in the challenge stipulations. We don't need to worry about that. Yeah, everything's fine now. You see, everything's all good. No error messages here. But yeah, I really did enjoy this build. Everything turned out super, super nice. We've got obviously the industrial district over here, which isn't too well planned out. It was mainly kind of a means to an end for the most part. I probably could have done a little bit better of a job with the industrial district, but it's not terrible by any means. And yeah, I really enjoy how distinct each neighborhood ended up being. So we've got like this neighborhood here, which is kind of like a generic beachside town sort of vibe with these Main Street assets. And then we've got like the row houses and stuff like that. We've got like the lobster restaurant here. I forgot what this is called, but yeah, we've got the seafood restaurant and everything. And then we pretty quickly move into a financial district. So I imagine these are probably like some really old banks or some office buildings. Maybe they're like mixed use. They have multiple different businesses in them. Usually they do. And then obviously we've got the modern downtown, which is really the economic driver of this whole town or this whole city. And it's just looking super nice. I mean, this whole build in general is a testament to the modders in the game and all of the new custom assets and stuff like that, all of the progress that the game has made in the last couple years. Really, this build would look completely different because just about everything, about 90% of the assets that I placed down are custom assets that people have uploaded to Paradox Mods, or they're assets from one of the creator packs or something like that. And so I do really appreciate everybody that takes the time out of their day to make custom assets in Cities Skylines 2, because it really is just making the game so much better over time. And yeah, so the only thing left is we've got this rich district over here, and I struggled a little bit to try to figure out what assets I wanted to use to convey that medium density rich atmosphere. And I ended up landing on the Netherlands pack because I think they have some pretty nice facades and they've got that brick look to them and things like that. If you're from the Netherlands, maybe you might find it weird that I used buildings like this to convey like a rich atmosphere. I'm not sure. I guess I'll have to find out in the comments if anybody from the Netherlands comments. But yeah, I think this is looking pretty nice. And then even further, we've got the UK pack. And mainly why I use the UK pack is because these houses are a lot bigger and a little bit more ornate than a lot of the other assets that we have in the game. So a lot of these are 2 stories or even 3 stories. Like this one's got another window here, so it's got 2 stories and an attic, and just big lots, big buildings. And so I think it really conveys that that upper middle class, you know, lower higher class sort of atmosphere. And then obviously at the very end of the island, we're just using all of these mansion assets, which look really, really nice. And then at the end, we've got the Industry Mogul Mansion, which is just a super, super cool asset. It's a really big house. I mean, it's pretty ginormous. And yeah, that's the end of the road. That's pretty much all that we've built. I really enjoyed making this video. It was very, very fun. I really enjoy doing these challenges, and I really enjoy like editing these videos for these challenges. It's just a lot of fun to me. So definitely let me know if you want to see more videos like this on the channel. I'm definitely interested in making more challenge videos like in this nature. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I think I accomplished all of my goals. I made a pretty city. I mean, I guess you guys will have to be the judge of that. Let me know in the comments if you think this city is pretty or if it's ugly, if I failed the challenge or not. Anyways, yeah, if you liked the video, I would appreciate a like. If you want to see more, consider subscribing, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.